Hello everybody, this is a Lamley preview. Hot Wheels 2-packs, Target 2-packs here in the US, I think other stores in other parts of the world. This is the next set. It is fantastic. There is definitely a racing theme here. JDM, drifting, and JDM, and classic American, obviously Corvette. I would call this Nissan Racing, I would call this Nissan, or like maybe Silvia Drift, and I would call this obviously Corvette, Racing Corvette. Only one repeat casting, which is really nice to see here. Everything else is fresh and new. So I am very happy to open this set up, all three of these. We'll dive into some of these castings as well. I'm gonna put this off to the side. Let's start with this one. This is the, obviously you could call it a Nissan set, you could call it a Silvia set, you could call it a drifting set, you could call it an RSR set, but it's the 240SX, the S14, and its companion, the S15. We've had the S15 out first, then the S14. Now I'll show you the back of these. There is the set right there, looks great. There is that. I think these are imminent because Mattel sent these over to me, so I'm assuming that we will see these very, very soon. Artwork is fantastic on these. Absolutely love the artwork. And let's just go ahead and open these up. Now I thought I could get at all the S14s. Maybe I'll do a short with all of the S14s, or I could get all the S15s. There's a fair amount. This has always been like Jimmy Lou, who's in design and what used to be in marketing, is just such a fan of these cars, owns one himself. And so it's gotten some real, it's got, you know, some pretty good treatment. We've seen a lot of it, of the castings, but I'm focusing on a different casting. I wonder if you guys wonder what it is on this video. We'll get to that. We'll put that off to the side and let's have a look. We'll start with the S14. So awesome to see. Majority of these have been historically one new model, or, you know, like one new version of an existing casting, maybe a new model, and one, you know, repeat from some other set. Happy to see that only happening once in these, among these three. Here is the S14 in this RSR Advan livery. It looks fantastic in red and white. Key here for me, the rims are drift friendly. These white 10 spokes, they're going to be popular. We saw these on the Acura in the Mountain Drifters a couple years ago, but this one looks fantastic here. Yeah, this casting we've debuted Fast and Furious. This is one of the, we should have like a name for the Fast and Furious like OGs, like the models that came because of Fast and Furious. You know, I always find myself, it's funny that I find myself defending Fast and Furious because I'm not a fan. Like, I wouldn't call myself a real fan of those, but I'm a big fan of the Hot Wheels world because it brings so many castings, and this is one of them. Getting this drift version is fantastic. We'll put that there. I'm gonna put this down a little bit, and then here is the S15. Between the S14 and the S15, I think this is, I don't know which one I like the best, but this casting just, you know, all good versions. And, you know, it's moved into that kind of mid-premium range, but I like it as premium. And obviously this is the RSR theme as well. Black 5 spokes, which looks awesome on this. I like that, you know, you've got the theme for sure. They look great together, but they also have very different liveries. RSR for sure. But the black rims on one, white on the other. They just look good racing, drifting together. I actually just, I mean, yeah, I'll do a short. I'll do one on the S14, and then I'll do one on the S15, just showing it all. You know, there's some good versions out there. All right, let's move to Corvette. Corvette, there is the art. Sun is just creeping up over the hill, so we're gonna get a little bit of glare. I apologize for that. Here are the models. This one's a repeat custom Corvette Stingray Coupe. The 69 Copo, this is a new deco. So let's just open it up. That over there. This one gets a quick whip around the turntable, and you can just have a look at that one really quickly. Was it Team Transport, I believe, that this one was in? I think that's where it debuted. I could be wrong. I mean, this is actually a Fast and Furious original as well, debuted in red, and then it hit Team Transport in this livery, if I remember correctly. Great version. If you didn't get it before, you have it now. I think it's a really nice version of this casting. But I'm more interested in the Copa Corvette, so much so that this is the model that's going to get the history. I've got this. I didn't account for the sun coming out and bouncing off the wall I'm behind. This is the Copa Corvette. I'm going to put this on the turntable in a second, but I want to walk through the premium. There's a billion basic versions of this one. And I didn't go into that, but I did pull out 4 premium versions that are so worth having. The Copa Corvette was like, what Copa, I can't remember what it stands for, but it's like experimental, right? That Chevrolet did. They did this, so Hot Wheels did this open top version in, what was it, the second or third mix? Maybe it was the third, maybe the fourth mix of car culture way back when. It started as a basic, it's been a super treasure hunt. And they did this premium version that we haven't seen since in premium, this open top roll bar version of the Copa Corvette. So it was a modified version of the original casting. So you had that one, put that right there. You also had a second, or the only time that this has shown up in car culture, the actual Copa Corvette. So this will be like a sequel to that. And this was a couple years ago in that racing. There was an Advan Porsche. Really cool racing set. Was it? I don't think it was race day. I'd have to remember. But this version's awesome. What I love about this version is the gold rims and the Goodyear tires. You know, the black hood and roof really look good on this, and there's some similar lines in this upcoming one. But the yellow and black was really cool. So that's a really nice version. But there's 2 versions to have. One is kind of hard to get, but the other one, well, they're both hard to get, and they're both they've become very expensive. But if you remember, I've talked about my love for the Greenwood Corvette, and the version of the Greenwood Corvette came in the RCR. It was like the Hot Wheels RCR or RCN. Was it? It was just, no, it was racing. I think it was called the racing set, Hot Wheels Racing, and they removed the valves or something like that. But the original Greenwood was in there. There's some other cool cars. The BMW 30 came out of that in that set. There was a Porsche 935, I think. But there was also James Garner's Corvette. So there were 2 Corvettes in this set. And this was a racing Corvette sponsored and owned by James Garner, the actor. He was in the show Maverick. He was in the, what was that one with the, drove a Firebird. Oh, I can't remember. But James Garner, handsome dude. And classic actor, and I'm assuming many of you now don't know who he is, but he was the dude back in the day, one of the dudes, you know, in that Steve McQueen vein. He was obviously in westerns, things like that. But he was a race car driver. That was him. He owned this Corvette, and this is a replica of James Garner's racing Corvette. You can see it on the back, and American International Racing Team, James Garner. This is from that set with the Greenwood, and so worth having. I think it is somewhat expensive, but the very expensive one is this one. It's actually from 2011, the 2011 Toy Fair. This was actually a modified version. The casting is the same, but they put out a new model with this racing, number 43 Racing. Basic, you can get that, but they then, almost like a super treasure hunt, let's see if I can open this up, they put Spectre Flame on it and made it the Toy Fair model. Put these fantastic Real Rider 5 spokes on it. They gave it Spectre Flame blue paint. This blue, or this white flame, you can see Felix Holst's name. He was the Wheels VP at the time. Just a really, really cool model. It's you know, it's going to be expensive, but it's one of the best looking Copa Corvettes. I like this casting a ton. Not as much as the Greenwood, of course, but it's definitely a casting that I really, really dig. And if you like this casting and want to have something special, that's one to look for. And yeah, obviously pay a bit of a pretty penny for on eBay. Here is the latest version. I tried to collect all the basics. It got a little hard to do, so I gave up because it's just out of space. And I said I'm so happy with the premiums between the James Garner and the 2 Car Culture and the Toy Fair. And this one is a very happy addition. Pretty simple. I do like the gold rims. I like the black rims and the gold trim on top with the white side panels. I just think it's a really clean, cool looking, you know, vintage in nature, you know, like in terms of the deco. Like it's, I don't know if it's based on any Copo deco, but it's pretty simple. And that's, with these cars, simplicity is what I like best. So Corvette goes there. We'll put those off to the side. And the last one, little JDM Nissan Racing. You could go just JDM, you could go Nissan. And we have new casting, brand new casting here. The 94 Nissan Primera. At first second, I thought it was the Accord. I brought out the Accord so we could compare them. But, you know, same era, same type of race car. And, you know, from the mid-90s. And then, of course, the Nissan R390 GT1. This actually goes premium for the first time. So that's really cool to see. Love the art. Love the art. Let's open these up. I do like that they're doing more of these 90s era racing cars and JDM racing cars. We've seen some of them, but I love that we're seeing more. Let's pull this one out. Let's pull this one out. Let's start with this one. Love the casting. Love that it's gone premium. Love that it's got the 10 spokes on it. Love that it's a very simple matte black with the Nissan trim on it. Hopefully we'll see some real complete racing cars. You know, we got kind of the road version. Well, this is the road version, isn't it? I think, I don't know, of the racing car. Maybe it would have a spoiler on the back of the racing car, but I've liked, you know, there was that white version, there was red and blue, and then they did the Zamek, which was fantastic. I don't know if we've seen it since. I'm trying to remember if we have or not. Maybe in some sort of set. But I really dig this one. Maybe there was a model like this. I'd have to look it up. But really happy to see it premium. Really happy to see it premium. Let's put that here. I'm just repeating myself. This goes, this goes, this goes. Now, let's talk about the Primera. Now, the first thing, I understand. It says Hot Wheels. It's blue and white. You know that Calsonic, this is what this is referring to. And Calsonic Racing is obviously, I mean, among Advan and BRE and all, I mean, as iconic as it gets, Moon Eyes, you know, in terms of these car culture, car racing liveries, Calsonic in Japan is about as recognizable as there is. Clearly, Hot Wheels doesn't have it. So on one hand, people are going to go like, just get Calsonic. It might be a little harder. Maybe there's other brands that have a lock on that one. Maybe it's something they're working on. So the powers that be, the designers said, you know, we can at least do an homage to Calsonic and just put Hot Wheels on it and put white rims on it. And it seems to be getting a mixed response. So we can talk about that. I mean, I get both. Like, just do Calsonic when you have Calsonic as a license. If you don't have it, just don't try to do an homage to it. Do something else. I do get that. At the same time, I totally understand where it's like, look, we see Calsonic, we see the iconic deco and the era of this car, so we're gonna at least do a bit of an homage to that, kind of a shout out to that. So in both cases, like, you know, I'm not gonna get too worked up either way on this. I'm happy to see this casting. Now let's do another comparison before we turn it on the turntable. This is the racing car that I think about. I mean, the silhouettes are so close. This is super popular right now, and I think this is going to be super popular too, all things considered. People will talk, but I think we're not going to see this on the pegs, I'm pretty sure. I think it's going to get picked up pretty quickly. But, I mean, the silhouettes are so similar with spoilers, the way the car's sitting, the way the wheels sit, and it is kind of fun. In fact, I could, you know, use my little mat here, just move it down, and it just gets some of this out of here. It does. When I'm doing this, it's got to look good. It does. That looks pretty sweet, doesn't it? That looks pretty cool. They are going the wrong way, but that you know, that's neither here nor there. Those look fantastic. All right, let's put. I did put this on the turntable for a second, or maybe I will. I don't know. I'll put that over there. Let's have a look at the casting. Put it on the turntable so you get some details. Plastic spoiler, that's nice. You know, if you don't like this Calsonic, hopefully maybe one day they will, and they'll do a Calsonic version of this car. I have not seen Calsonic on any Hot Wheels car, at least in the last 10 or 15 years, unless I'm totally blanking. So, but maybe it's something that'll come. I hope it is. But this looks so good. The casting is fantastic. I actually like the cleanliness of the deco, and considering that people weren't too keen on the Accord's debut deco in Boulevard, but they love this Castrol version, I think we'll see some cool versions of this that will fit in that family. I'll tell you I'm done, but I'll just give you a little sneak peek. It's coming soon. I'm so excited about these racing sets. Let's do it this way. Are these racing cars that they're doing from this era from Hot Wheels, and a lot of other car makers are as well. So I'll just add this one to the mix and say we'll be doing a full sneak peek preview of some upcoming Hot Wheels premium cars. Very excited to show you. That's what I got, everybody. You guys tell me what you think. Sets, the Nissan and the RSR are the ones. I love the Corvette set. I'm not keen on the repeat, but I love that they did the Copa Corvette, and it's fun to bring that casting out. You guys tell me what you think. Fun video to do. Tell me what your favorites are. All coming soon. Thank you. Bye.